Now for an Egyptian themed profile, not Gravekeepers. So now with this deck profile, obviously Triamids are one of those archetypes that were kind of lost back when they got released in the Dark Illusion. Kind of sucks because they have a pretty cool theme, especially when it came to revolving around field spells and be able to send them to the grave and activate new ones from the deck that we get different effects off. So with this deck profile, it's very casual, not competitive at all. Just using cards I had just to make it a little stunny and just annoying to play against. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first for the main deck, it's actually a 41 card main deck. Give me some cards you could trim here and there to make it exactly 40. But for the main monster, I like running 3 Triamid Hunters, only because when there's a field spell, you can get an additional normal summon, and why not get additional normal summons? That way you can get link plays and get effects off and things like that. So yeah, he's the main guy you want to see in your hand first. And now for the second monster, we run 2 Triamid Masters. You could bump this up to 3 if you like, but I like running 2 just because there's a lot of level 3s in this deck. The only level 4s you run is the Quakimerus. There's effect just to send one from the field to the grave, field spell, or your own field spell, and you can target a set card and destroy it. That's pretty cool. So in case you're running against a back row, you want to get rid of something before you start doing something else. This effect's pretty nifty, and like I said, they all have the built-in effect where you could, during your opponent's turn, you can send a field spell from your side to the graveyard to activate another one from the deck. Triamid field spell, not anyone. And for the next monster, we run 2 Triamid Dancers. It's good just to recur some Triamid cards, put them back in the deck, especially your monsters, because we don't have too many Triamid monsters in the deck, especially like your Hunters and your Masters. So you want to put them back in the deck, and it gives a boost to all your Rock-type monsters, I believe. Yeah, all Rock-type monsters. So why not? And it has, like I said, the other built-in effect to, swap out your field spells. And now for the big boy, we run 3 Sphinx. It's pretty this card's actually really easy to get out if you can get it off with the King Golem, and just to have him out on the field, and then it can only be targeted for attacks by your opponent is pretty cool, because that way it just directs everything to it. And as long as you have at least one in the graveyard, it's already a 3,000 beater. So why not run this card? And he's just a big boss, and he looks pretty cool. Sucks, like I said, they didn't get more support. And now for other rock type support, we won 3 Quakimaru and 1 Guardian. I said the only reason these cards are in there is just to help with support in case you have nothing else. Overload and Guardian are really good because Overload negates a summon, and Guardian negates a monster effect. So if you don't want your opponent to pop off, you have these cards, and they're pretty strong too. 1900 is pretty strong for a level 4 monster. Now for other cards, we run 1 Sentry Soldier Stone. He's just good because if you have like Hunter out and you have the field spell, you get additional normal summons, you can summon something else, and you can still summon this guy back from the graveyard. So why not? He's just a big booty too, just in case you have nothing else. Another monster we run is Block Dragon. This effect's really good because you can get monsters to your hand. The only thing that sucks is it has to equal level 8. So like you have to at least get 2 level 4s. Sucks that they're level 3 because that kind of messes up the level 8 thing. If it didn't say equal 8, that'd be cool, but it has to equal 8. But he's still a good card nonetheless. And another card we play is 2 Block Golem. I believe long time ago when I first played this deck, I remember I first watched Team's Samurai video, and I used to run this card, and I remember it was so hard to find this card. I finally found 2 of them. This card's really good because you can go into Exceed plays, Link now with the Link mechanic, where you go into Link plays if you need be. So this card's still really good to play in this deck. And that's it for the main monsters. Now going to the spells. So now we got 3 cruisers. This is probably the first one you want to see as fast as possible, because when you have it on the field, when you summon a rock type monster or normal summon, you gain 500 life points, and who doesn't want it? Free life points. And also you get to draw 1, discard 1 if it's a Triamid monster. So kind of send those cards you don't need in your hand to the grave, especially if you have like Sentry Soldier Stone or anything like that, or like block dragon, because block dragon you can just summon it anytime you want to from hand or graveyard. Um, so yeah, so just to refix your hand, and then if it gets sent from field zone to the graveyard, you get to add a Triamid monster. And then that goes in tandem with the King Golem. This one, all archetype monsters you control gain 500, and also when they attack, they're kind of like an Armades. Like your opponent can activate effects. And also if it gets sent from the field to the grave, you get to summon a Triamid monster from your hand, and ideally you want to have a Sphinx in your hand, that we can summon it off by that effect. Because Sphinx also has that effect where it has to be summoned by a Triamid effect, and King Golem's usually the way I like to summon it off. Usually the easiest as well. For the last Triamid, field spell, we run 2 Fortress. With this card, it's cool, but it's just another name, that way you can at least recycle through them. But at least if it gets sent from the field to the grave, you at least get to recur a card back from your graveyard. So once you get up to this card, it's okay. It's not the best one, I'll tell you that much. And obviously you want to see your field spells as fast as possible, so run 2 Terraforming. Nothing much more to explain there. And for the Quakimarus, I do like running 2 Diamond Core Quakimaru, just because, like I said, sometimes if you don't get the right mixture Triamid monsters, you at least have the Quakimarus, and you can search them whenever you like, and that way you just have extra oomph out on the field. And just a monster your opponent has to deal with. And for other spells, Dark Hole and Scapegoat. Scapegoat is just more to protect yourself, to get free links out like Mrs. Radiant or anything like that, especially because they're Earth. And Dark Hole, just in case you get blown out by your opponent, at least you have Dark Hole just as a backup plan. So that's for the spells, and now into the traps. Now that the Terraforming is at 2, I do run 3 Metaverse. The only good thing about this card is that you can activate it from your deck. So like, let's say if you get an extra like 500 attack or something, you could always activate this, activate the King Golem from the deck, and that way your monster gets a little extra boost, and maybe your opponent's monster dies from that. So that's the reason why you run the 3 Metaverse, because you can at least, maybe if you don't add it to your hand during your turn, at least you could do something on your opponent's turn. So we run 3 of those, and then for some monster recursion, we run 2 back to the fronts, just to get your monster back from the field, use them for link fodder or anything like that. That's why I run 2 back to the fronts. And for some like stunning cards, 3D Prison affects most decks. Obviously not link based decks, but you know, in case they want something like some synchros or Exceeds, or if you play any ritual based decks, Necros. This card really locks them down sometimes. Like I said, it depends what you're playing against. So it's just a stunning card I added in this deck that won't affect me, but it'll affect them. And then the last card, the 41st card, is a Solemn Warning, just to negate something. Like I said, you can cut this out if you like and just run the main core, or say cut out some other cards and add some stuff. But now into the extra deck. For the Exceeds, we run 3 Garganic Diagrams. Like I said, there's a lot of level 3s in the deck, so, and this card is really good because you can negate your monster's effects or your opponent's monster's effects, and if it's at 0, you can destroy a monster on the field, so why not? And another rank 3, 1 Dante. Sometimes if, like, let's say maybe you want a mill, that way you get a couple extra. I mean, you don't want to see your Triamid field spells in the graveyard by Dante's effect, but maybe if you have the Sphinx out, you can at least send them to the grave, and maybe get an extra 1 or 2 in there, like a different name, just to give extra attack. And Dante's still a really powerful card just on its own. 2,500 on a rank 3 is pretty good. Now into some level 4s, in case like you have Quakimarus and the Triamid Master. 1 Baguska, just in case you need to sit on something. Baguska's still really good, so run him. 1 Utopia package, 1 Utopia, 1 Lightning, just in case you need to run over a problematic monster and it can't be destroyed by a card effect or something. You have the Utopia. Why not, right? And because if you're able to get 2 Sphinx out, I run 2 rank 10s because you have space in this extra deck for anything you really want. We have 1 Gustav Max and 1 Super Dora. Just to, if you're somehow able to game your opponent, you can summon this out. 2,000 direct damage is good, and Super Dora is just really annoying to get over because of its effect. So why not? They won't see it coming, I'll tell you that much. One underclock taker, if you're able to summon this and have like a Sphinx out, you could kind of game your opponent and get over something really easily. One Mrs. Radiant to give all your monsters attack boost. And then for some generics, we want one Cerberus, one Phoenix, in case you need to do some monster removal or spell and trap removal. One rank, or not rank 3, one link 3. I decided to add in the Zectrus Bania. It's just there, like if you're able to summon something, on its thing, and you can do massive removal with this card, especially if it's a deck that's playing like a lot of spell and traps or even monsters. It's just a fun card you can add in there. It's just something I thought of. Because usually, like I say, you don't get too many monsters out with this deck, but if you can, this can be a pretty annoying monster to summon. So that's why I added in the extra deck. And the last one, of course, Borreload, or it could be a Boral Sword. Yeah, like I said, you could run Star Yuja, but like I said, you don't summon too many monsters, so that's why Star Yuja wouldn't be too beneficial. I would say Borreload because you want to control the field and things like that. So why not? But that's it for the deck profile, you guys. Let me know what you think about Triamids and what spicy text you have for this rock type deck. And let me know if you like the deck, like the video if you like Triamids. Make sure you check out our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for updates, behind the scenes, things like that. And thanks for watching, and have a good one.